Hey guys, Hassan back at once again with a brand new video for you, and another great race this weekend in Bahrain. But I know what you're thinking, why am I driving around Istanbul? Well, for those guys who don't know enough about Formula 1 2011, they based this game off of last year's calendar, and on last year's calendar there wasn't Bahrain, so they didn't put it in the game in Formula 1 2011 when it came out back in September last year. So instead, I'm going around Istanbul, which isn't on the 2012 calendar this year. So I thought I'd get Istanbul out of the way and tick a box. And it was actually quite relevant because many of you suggested, including me, that that they should take Bahrain off the calendar and put Istanbul back in later in the year to compensate for the safety issues. But anyway, another great race in Bahrain. Sebastian Vettel and the crooked finger are back in Formula 1 after a great drive from him to win. Pretty much led the whole way from start to finish, besides the pit stop dramas, which I'll talk about more later in the video. But what a superb drive by Kimi Raikonnen and the whole of Lotus. Lotus obviously had their car set up just right for this track and did a superb job. Kimi Raikonnen in second and Romain Grosjean in third for France. And, you know, for a rookie to come in and come third on only his fourth ever race is a superb performance. Kimi Raikkonen actually looked like he had half a chance of winning the race, closing in on Vettel in the mid stages of the race. It was thinking about a bold pass near the end down the inside, but Vettel's defensive driving held out. I think Lotus got the last pit stop a bit wrong because they came in at exactly the same time as Vettel. Vettel's pit stop was bulletproof. So the track position was maintained by Red Bull in the third stint. Lotus just didn't have the pace to keep up with Red Bull the rest of the way, and Kimi eventually just dropped off and said, screw it, I'll take second. But if Lotus got their decision making a little bit better, maybe if they undercut Vettel by a lap, then maybe, just maybe, they could have come through and win the race. Maybe if Kimi was a little bit more aggressive, he might have come through as well. Who knows? But yeah, in the end, Sebastian Vettel wins. The finger is returned. But a superb drive by the Lotus boys, representing the UK very nicely indeed. Running down the rest of the top 10, Mark Webber in fourth. Another quiet but solid drive from the Australian, the experienced veteran. Nico Rosberg in fifth. Now, honestly, I think Rosberg's fifth might come into disrepute a little bit because on two separate occasions, he drove fellow rivals off the track, Lewis Hamilton and Fernando Alonso, during the race, obviously infuriating them. I think it was the run down towards turn 5 where his defensive sweep, his one move, pushed Hamilton and Alonso off the track to try and, you know, obviously pass Rosberg in that situation. So it was very awkward. So I think that's flat out dangerous from Rosberg to push a guy off the track. I mean, the rules state you have to have at least one car length. You've got to give a guy one car length of space between you and the edge of the track. Rosberg clearly broke that rule, so it's being investigated right now as I speak after the race. It could result in his fifth place being taken away, and numerous other penalties like a grid drop for the next race, or even possible suspension. So there's definitely options the FIA can you know, give out and dish out to Rosberg in this one. So be careful. That's a fifth for now. It could change in the near future. Who knows? Paul di Resta, a great drive, the Scot, to come in 6th place. In the Force India. Force India obviously had a very nervous weekend considering the petrol bomb incident earlier in the week. Di Resta did a two-stop strategy, and while many people thought it didn't work, it came into play late on quite nicely in the end. So Di Resta up from his P10 to finish in 6th. Fernando Alonso, fairly quiet drive, ended up P7. But it was one of the first times he didn't really gain much of his advantage on his teammate Felipe Massa, which I'll get to in a minute. But still, Alonso I still think is doing superb given the car that he has. It's a solid points haul. He won't complain over 7th place at all. I think that's 8 points for 7th place. Can't remember off the top of my head. But you'll find that later in the video anyway when I show the results of this race you're watching. Lewis Hamilton in 8th. Now, Hamilton probably would have been right up there, probably P4 or 5 if it wasn't for the fact that McLaren botched 2 of his 3 pit stops where it was the left rear and he had wheel nut issues where people were joking on Twitter that they put the work experience guy on the left wheel nut. Whoops. But twice the left wheel nut would not come off properly, and it cost Hamilton about 10 to 20 seconds both times to fix the wheel nut and get him back out there on the track, and that surely cost him some some World Championship points, considering he was leading the title. It's an unfortunate finish for McLaren, who just didn't have things go their way this race weekend. Again, with his part on the Jensen Button getting a DNF, did not finish. Unfortunately, near the end, he suffered a left rear puncture. Again, that left rear always causing McLaren some issues in this race. But they replaced it, but then I think there was some kind of engine issue where he had to DNF, I think about 5 or 6 laps from the end. So Jensen Button with a 0, and Hamilton only getting 4 points on this one. It's not the best weekend for McLaren, who as usual should be right up there in the mix for the race wins. Because I still think McLaren right now have got the best all-round car package right now. It's just, this season is wide open, where if you make one mistake, it could punish you so bad, because so many other cars close to one another. But again, not a great weekend for McLaren. Felipe Massa scores his first World Championship points for a 9th place. Pardon me. But yeah, 9th place, his first points of the season, up from 14th when he qualified. So +5, you can't really complain for Felipe, and he looked much more aggressive in this race, which was good to see. It looked like he was driving again, and it looks like he was on good form. So who knows? It could be the start of something better for Felipe. Who knows? And Michael Schumacher getting a well-earned World Championship point, considering he started from 22nd on the grid. He qualified in 17th because Mercedes got caught out on the qualifying, the track constantly getting faster. They didn't send Michael out for a second run, and they paid the penalty because they were knocked out in Quali 1 as the top ranking non-qualifier in 17th place. Then he had to change his gearbox, so that was a 5-place penalty. So he ended up starting in 22nd, but eventually came through to 10th and scored a point. And before I end this video, I have to say, thank goodness that the whole weekend, qualifying and race, went off without a major hitch in the end. And let's hope that Bahrain can sort out their civil unrest and problems that they have right now, so they can keep running this track, because it's a great track, it's a great venue. And overall, another enjoyable race. The season's going down really well. It's so competitive, and that's what I love about it so much. It's not one man dominating, or at least I hope not, now that Red Bull seem to have got their SHIT put together quite nicely. First and 4th this time, whoever now Sebastian Vettel leads the World Championship with that race win. But again, it's so close. One race win could swing it for you in somebody's favour quite wildly, so that's the thing. But again, great drives from Kimi and Grosjean to round the podium for the Lotus boys. And again, like I said, thank goodness everything went off without a major hitch. Comment question of the day for you. Speaking of Lotus, do you think Lotus will win a race at some point this year? I think they've got a very good chance. Their car clearly is up there with the best of them right now, and if they can get a little bit lucky and get a good qualifying slot, they could challenge. Just Kimi Raikonnen looked really good out there today. But anyway, I'll leave you to enjoy this last lap of the race, and let me know what you thought of the race below, of course. And thank you guys for all your comments on the last video regarding the Bahrain controversy, and you guys convinced me to do this video. I wasn't comfortable about doing it because it was doing something I don't really believe in, but at the end of the day, I care about you guys and my viewers, and you guys are number one, and I have a feeling you guys would want to see this video. So again, thank you very much everybody for watching. Like, comment and subscribe if you like what I do, and I'll catch you next time. I've been Harrison101. Thank you very much for watching, and sayonara.